We'll check in with our friends at the Team Roping Journal. Of course, thanks to them, we're going to highlight all things team roping right now. And to do that, we invite in a contestant that has now made his way back to another trip to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, joining Haley and I now. Clint Summers. Clint, thanks for joining us here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
So I got to know, after the Governor's Cup weekend, have you been able to take that big breath like, oh my gosh, the weight's off my shoulders now?
Oh yeah, it's like a huge weight's just lifted. Finally can breathe a little bit, you know. I ain't never had it come down to the last steer like that, but pretty nerve-wracking.
I want to talk about the month leading up to the Governor's Cup. You had a very important September. You racked up dollars there. How did you keep your head down and just keep achieving those goals to see yourself in the NFR?
Well, I've always been one that always says, you know, you can't give up, no matter if it's your dream or what it is. So you gotta fight it out to the last steer. And like I said, I'm not one that really believes in it comes down to one steer, but this year it happened that way for me, and luckily I didn't give up, and it worked out in our favor.
Clint, we're getting a chance to watch some of your runs from the Governor's Cup up there where you guys won some of that much-needed money to get you back to the NFR. You and I were talking actually before this interview, and you kind of mentioned it a little bit during what Haley just mentioned to you, but you said this right here, this qualification to the NFR is pretty special to you. How come?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going through my mind before I ran that steer, you know. Of course, your first NFR and stuff, it's pretty special, but this one here, I don't know. There was just a lot more thought went into it, you know what I mean? And I guess like your first one, you don't really know what to expect. You're just there having fun and enjoying it. Well, now you got a taste of it and you want to get back, and you know it's come down to this last year, and everything that you've worked on forever, you got to put it in play right here for it to happen. And man, it just, like I said, it was pretty special.
This is your second NFR as a header. You've been there as a heeler before. Are you putting any kind of extra pressure on yourself, knowing you've been there, you've been in this position before, now you're going back again?
No more pressure. More or less go there and have fun. The first time heading, I was a little nervous because I'm pretty much healed my whole life. And then I went to headed for a year or two and then made it. And obviously I was nervous. And so this time I kind of know what to expect. I'm pretty excited. I got a great horse and a great partner. So I feel like it's going to be a good finals.
Clint, I'm going to hit you a little bit with maybe even a two-part question, because as you look back on the 2023 season and you guys barely squeaking into another NFR qualification, do you feel like there's some runs that throughout the year you were really, really proud of and, man, that was great? Or do you feel like there's some steers that, man, I wish I could have run that one again. I wouldn't have put myself in this predicament.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, there's times you get on rolls out there on the road, and it's like you can throw it in the air, and somehow you catch him, and you win. I mean, it's crazy. And then there's another time where you draw good, and it don't matter how hard you try, you can't win. So there's lots of steers, you know, actually, I mean, the year's way longer than you think. So there is several steers, you know, that goes through your mind, hey, I wish I could have done better on this one and that. But luckily, like I said, it just worked out in our favor this year.
It did work out. I want to ask something that some of the viewers might know. You and Jake Longrope together, and he's sitting a little bit differently in the world standings than you are. How does that pan out, and how did it end up that way?
Me and Jake started roping right before the summer. He had roped with Clay Smith in the spring and winter, and I had roped with Corey Petska, and we decided to rope, and they had won a little bit more money than we had. I think they had $15,000. I had $5,000, and so when we started roping, he had a few more rodeos that he'd used than I had too. So we kind of had to play that out as well through the year. We kind of had to, he did unofficialed some, I officialed some, just to kind of level it all out. But it worked out, but that's how it was. He just was a little bit further ahead of me because they won more than us in the winter.
That's all right. You guys are still going to have big chances of winning huge money in Las Vegas. I want to go back to Las Vegas and the NFR for just a second, because you've roped on both sides of the steer there. What's easier there? Is it easier to head? Is it easier to heel? I mean, I feel like there's the same amount of pressure on both sides of that steer. You're all there for the same reason, trying to win. But what do you feel like you put more pressure on yourself with?
Man, I don't think either one of them's easier. Once you get there, it's all fun. I mean, that's what you work for every day to get to that point. So it don't matter if you're heading, you're heeling, you're calf roping. Once you get there, it's just fun. You know, you're just happy to be there. And like I said, at that point, it just goes into muscle memory pretty much.
You have no choice but to make it go into muscle memory whenever it is so fast like that. Going up the couple months leading up to the NFR. How were you prepped for that? I know you talked about how Trevor Brazile kind of initiated your professional heading career. Will you go back to him and get some advice?
Yeah, obviously, I talked to Trevor quite a bit, and he helps me out. But I think we'll keep practicing pretty much the same like we do every day, no matter what. And 3 weeks or so before, we'll probably set up an arena, and we'll make a few runs. But for the most part, we want to keep the horses free and working like they always do. So when we get there, we don't want them tight as soon as we get there, obviously. So I think it'll pretty much be the same routine. We'll just wait till the time comes.
I can't wait to watch you guys in Las Vegas, Clint. That's going to be a lot of fun. Clint Summers, thanks for joining us here on the show, and good luck when you guys get out to Vegas.
Thank you.